Arvoyarns.
Yeah. And something inside of me just snapped. I just gave up. I just wanted to die. You know, I just wanted to die. Because people were saying, well, there's nothing wrong with you. You know, you talk about you blind. You don't look blind. I'm saying, oh my God. How do you convince somebody you can't see?
Yeah. That's a good question I've never even asked myself.
Yeah. So my life just went downhill from there. I said, you know what? A little bit of money I had, I started drinking, and I became homeless. I said, you know what? If I go in the streets of Philadelphia, right, and become homeless, join the homeless people, somebody would kill me out there because I had an attitude. You know, I'm not going to like push me around and stuff like that. And that's how I became homeless. I intentionally said, I'm going out here to God, that way somebody can kill me. You know,
and you're what age now?
39.
Still 39.
Yeah, you know, yeah, it's...
What did you feel like, sort of? Well, I'm sure you sort of felt helpless in a certain way, like as if like this is more than you could handle. And so I feel like, I don't know, it's like, is going out to live on the street a way of like kind of putting it in the hands of, I don't know, like a higher power, or just being like, I can't do this alone.
Well,
like
yeah,
someone's just gonna
I
have
admitted
to
to
do this.
him. I mean, like I told the lady in the Inquirer, that's and people did foster. I just wanted to die. How can I live like this? Right? Nobody believing I really can't see. Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty fucked.
And I don't know.
What about your wife? Was she did she believe?
No, we weren't married then. She was my girlfriend.
Okay, your girlfriend.
Yeah, you know, we didn't get married until after. That's later on. I'll tell you about that later on. But anyhow, you know, something inside me just snapped. I said, man, you ain't worth nothing. You know, nobody's can live like this. I just got so down on myself and said, God, the hell with this. I can't explain how I went from to just, whew, it was unreal. You know, I mean, I couldn't believe the person couldn't see anything. Even now, I look up at the sun. I feel the heat. I open my eyes as wide as I can. How can a person not see the sun? But it's like that. Yes. But anyhow, the people on the streets, they taught me how to survive on the streets. You know, so we go, listen, you can always get food stamps with a check and stuff like that, right? So, on check day, you know, everybody that was in our little group, different check days, we got high, right? Food stamp days, we bought food. You know, to sleep on the streets of Philadelphia, you got a box. In the wintertime, you got paper or cardboard and a plastic trash bag so you could, you know, your body could hold the body. They taught you how.
Wow.
Right? And when you belong to a little homeless community, they have a lot of homeless communities out there.
Right.
Right? You know, for some reason, people just giving up, or they just become alcoholics, just become drug addicts. So I got hooked on alcohol, cheap wine, and, you know, good alcohol when I could get it, right? And crack cocaine, because that was the cheapest things out there. And what it did is just getting high just took you out of reality.
Out of the pain.
Yeah, out of reality. Some days you got high, some days you didn't. Time just went by. You know, yeah, different things happened out there sometimes. A couple of times I got beat up out there. People just beating up on homeless people. We went through a rash of that in the city of Philadelphia. You know, I mean, it's crazy.
Were a lot of the people that you were with, like, do they have disabilities as well? Or, like, I mean, did they recognize, like, the kind of, like, you would need some help, you know, getting from place to place, and they were...
Yeah, you know, they would say, there were quite a few guys out there who had poor vision. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, there are different degrees of sight. Yeah. And people that have normal sight don't understand. Some people that, you know, nearsighted, farsighted. Some people have colorblind. You know, I can't begin to tell you. And then a lot of people out there on the streets have mental illnesses. Mm-hmm. Right? So society really just gave up on them. Right? And you just became satisfied with just existing every day. That's what the homeless world is like, because nobody is going to do what it takes to bring you back. Right? And once you become homeless, it takes a lot of reprogramming.
Before you go into the reprogramming, can you talk about the dynamic of you being a completely blind homeless person, and like what where did you live? Like, were you around other people? Were they in the area? Did you guys meet up?
I was in Center City. I lived in, for the last, let me see. At first, I was in what they call Skid Row, down near the police station, 8th and Race.
Yeah.
Underneath the bridge, where historical Philadelphia, we got underneath the bridge, and you live down there. People would come and bring food and stuff down there, right? And
How
then
often would they do that?
3-4 times a week.
Wow.
Trevor Services. It was I forget where Trevor was, but you hear about these different places. So that was one of them. Then there was Philadelphia Committee for the Homeless, I think. They would come and bring food. And they try and offer you to go to the shelters to get off the streets. Well, the shelters were worse than being on the street.
This is what I've heard. Yeah, can you talk about this? Because I've heard a lot of homeless people say that the shelters are far worse. Like, for instance, that you could lose all your belongings in one night stay from bed bugs or something. And the infestation would just, or like getting it stolen or something.
Yeah. We carried whatever we had. We either had a carrying bag, a book bag, or a black plastic trash bags.
Yeah, sure.
Right. So every place
Classic.
you went, or you had a duffel bag. So every place you went, people, the cops knew you were one of the homeless people, right?
Yeah.
There were places. For instance, there was my brother's house. My brother's house is a Catholic charity place. It's on 15th Street. Then there was John's Hospice. Race Street was John's Hospice. I think it was Race 12th or 13th and Race that you could get food, and they served a hot meal a day, and you come there and wash up, right, and get changes of clothes. There were quite a few places in the city that did this, right? Because people always cared about the homeless. They just didn't know what we cared about ourselves or why we allowed it to get like that. But you never know a person's story,
Yeah, seriously.
But yeah, the shelters. The shelters were brutal because when people got released from jail, on probation or something like that, they didn't have anything. So the first place they would go to the shelters. Now the shelters had a program there, right? So when you're in there with inmates that were just released from jail, who knew what they may have been involved in, they're always looking for a sting, right? I remember I came there one time. This group came from somewhere. It was in October, November, right before Thanksgiving, and they gave us all new sneakers, right? It got very, very cold. Now I'm blind, right? So these trucks would come around and say, hey, we're taking you off the streets. They would force us to get off the streets. They would call Code Blue or something like that. And they'd take you to a shelter. Now, you take your sneakers off, right? They gone.
Wow.
They're gone.
So you lost your shoes.
I mean, even though I tried putting them right underneath my head into the blanket, but people, they do whatever they can to try and give it. So when they see new sneakers, this is a sting for them. They can go out and sort of use it themselves. If you got new clothes or blankets and stuff because you're living out there, and you go to the shelter, the next morning you wouldn't have it if you slept light or fell asleep. And you didn't want it, and they said, well, we got lockers, but you didn't put a lock on the locker, you
Pretty difficult for you.
yeah. So it was easier and safer and less stressful. If something got stolen from you in the streets, okay, I'm in the streets. I tried to hide this here or near a trash can or underneath some bushes or someplace, and you go back and it's gone.
Blind. You hide things blind, and you'd be able to find them.
Yeah,
In places where said people wouldn't be able to find them. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, you would, and sometimes people look out for stuff. For instance, when I was living right there, I stayed at Borden Locust, right at the subway stop at Academy of Music, between Academy of Music and Schubert Theater.
Not far at all.
Right, okay. And right at that subway stop, I used to sleep right in back and come in and ask for a change, or people would come by and they would take me to, my brother's house or Father Divine or something like that, so we can get something to eat. People that knew you were homeless, were in the homeless community, they would come and try to, come on man, let's go eat, every day. That's right. Cool. Sometimes, people at that particular place knew me, so that was like my.
Did you have friends, or did you have people that you were homeless with together? Like, what was the community like in terms of relationships for you?
You had drinking buddies. Okay, like I tried to tell you, whenever you got your check from, you had to go to the welfare office, or at that time, 3-2 centers, I forget. But you had a card that you had to keep, and you had a certain day of the week you would get your welfare check, right? And most homeless people, you either got a check and food stamps or just food stamps. But when they started saying, well, if you were capable of working, if you were healthy, you couldn't get money, you could only get food stamps. So we would then buy so much food and exchange some of the food stamps for money, right? So that we could get high or go to an all-night movie and spend the night. I think it was $4.50. You go to one of them all-night movies on Market Street, the sex movies, right? And they had big comfortable chairs, and you spend the night in there. That's how you would spend some of your nights. Man, there's so many different ways to survive when you're homeless. But one thing about it is, if you can get to these places and you get with the right group of people, right? Even though the price you pay is helping everybody get high every day, and you bet not show up on your day with money, right? Then okay, right. You get, okay, man, you went someplace else and got high. It's.
Arvoyarns.